Sure, Game here. Welcome to another episode coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com. You know, a couple years ago, I heard Ice-T, and I'm a big fan of Ice-T. I've been following him since New Jack City. Well, no, before New Jack City, when he was rapping and then doing music, and even when he had the rock band. So I heard him say in 2012, say something like he was talking about business and relationships, and he said something that kind of caught me off guard. And he said, in life, either you're pimping or you're hoeing. And then he went deep into it, in the details of what he meant by that. So basically what he was saying, he was like, in every relationship, whether it's with you and a woman or a man, or whether you have a job or you're in business or partners with somebody, he said either you're pimping or hoeing. So he said, for example, which brings me to my point, right? Like us in this country, African American, black people, whatever you want to call yourself, we're the hoes. We're being pimped like a motherfucker in this country, you know. And this is when you know you're being pimped, because when another group of people can tell you who you are, where you can live, where you can't live, who you're supposed to be, when they can deny you access to resources anywhere in the country, when they can exploit you, take advantage of you, make fun of you, and put you in the prison industrial complex, and there's not too much you can do about it. That's when you know you're being pimped. That's when someone can reclassify you, and no one was sitting down at the table that represents you. That's when you know you're being pimped. When somebody can say you're African American and no one of African American descent or of African descent was sitting down at the table, that's when you know you're being pimped. But the good news is, when you're young and just starting off in life, you're probably going to be pimped because you don't have enough life experience, unless you're starting off with a cushion. When I say a cushion, I mean you're starting off with assets, with some practical tools. Could be money, could be people, could be business, it could be investments. It could be anything that you can use as leverage. But if you're like most people that I know, including myself, you don't nothing is being passed down. And the reason why that is because everything was destroyed in the past. So I'm gonna tell you my family history. On my grandmother's side, the whole family was destroyed on her side. My grandmother was 102 years old. She passed away this year. Her whole family was destroyed, and the only person was left was her. That's it. Everything was destroyed, and everything was stolen or transferred, however you want to see it, however you want to see it. Everything was stolen. Land, resources, whatever they had, it's gone. My grandma was the only person left, and she was adopted after everything was said and done. And she survived through slavery, black codes, Jim Crow laws. She went through all of that. Now, on my grandfather's side, they managed to survive somehow. Him and his brother, 3 brothers, they survived. Everybody else got wiped out. And he passed away he passed away when I was 17. So that's about 27 years ago. Yeah, about 26 years ago, he passed away. So the only person, I think he had a brother that had a couple kids, and I met most of them. And his other brother, he died. He had a couple kids as well, and I met all of them. So basically, when I got started, nothing was passed down from my grandmother to my mom. So I got started when I was born. I had to start from scratch. When I turned 18, 19, whatever, I had to start from scratch. So see, if you have to start from scratch, it's probably going to be a struggle unless you're street savvy and you're well connected and you know the right people, and if you're in the right environment that supports you, which is dependent upon where you living at in the country or in the world. So this is why it pays to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, because you're only as strong as the people that's around you. And this is why we're in the position we are today, because you have to realize that you have to be able to pick your position. That's right. You have to be able to pick your position. If you can't pick your position, you're being pimped. If someone can tell you what position you can have and where you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to act and how you're supposed to dress and how you're supposed to look and how you're supposed to sound I can go on and on. I think you get my drift. You understand my point. You're being pimped. You don't really have a position of negotiation. You can't really negotiate anything. They don't see you as a person that's of value. And that's due because of the laws and the policies in the society that we live in. And this didn't happen overnight. This started in the as far as the deny and neglect thing and acting like black people don't exist. That started in the 60s. I think 1960, late 60s, 1969, if I'm not mistaken. Late 60s for sure. That started after Martin Luther King was assassinated. That's when it started. To deny and neglect and act like black people or people of African descent don't exist. So all of this happened without any black person in the room. So this is when you know you're being pimped. You know? And this is what Ice-T was talking about when it comes to pimping and hoeing. And you can use this philosophy in almost every aspect of your life. Even in relationships. Even with your girlfriend or your wife. If you with your woman and if she's more of a liability and an asset, you're going to have to get rid of her eventually. I mean, it's just no way around it. I mean, if she's getting sick all the time and she's reckless, or she just if she's more of a headache more than anything else, and she's giving you a hard time because she didn't get a hug from her father when she was growing up, you might not have a choice. You're probably going to have to get rid of her because she's going to be too dysfunctional and too emotional. And eventually she'll start doing things or making decisions and feeling bad about it and coming back and apologizing later, but the damage is already done. You know? So if you're a black male, you don't have a lot of room for mistakes. You really don't have time to be dealing with cops and judges. I mean, that's probably the worst. The worst position you could be in is in a courtroom or on the side of the road with a cop arguing. I mean, that's the worst position to be in. So you don't really have time for that if you're a black male in this society. So you have to be able to play your position, pick the position you want in society or in your town. And hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully we'll get there within our lifetime, I should say. And hopefully in your kid's lifetime. So The name of the game is to be able to position yourself in the way you would like, an environment that you would like, that's going to benefit you, your friends, your family, and help you to become a better version of yourself. So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel. Check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. Until next time, Sharp Gamers out. Peace.